Progressive Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is incredible. I don't know if you've heard about her. Please Google her, watch her video. She has an incredible video on her website, which that video really, she made a video explaining who she is and why she's getting into politics. And that is the video that really put her in the spotlight to begin with. That video went viral. She is running for New York Rep. She's challenging New York Rep. Joe Crowley in next week's primary. So Move On, the United States' largest online progressive organization, has broken with House Democrat leadership and endorsed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is challenging New York Congress member Joe Crowley. This is great because Crowley is a corporate Dem who likes to call himself progressive. And if you go watch the debate that they just had, you will see him squirm. He is no progressive at all. That just says it all. A beautiful moment from a debate, Crowley on New York One, that Ocasio-Cortez called for the abolition of ICE.
Where this government is separating children from their mothers. It is antithetical to everything that I believe in, and that's what I fight for every day.
And you know what? If this organization is as fascist as you have called it,
I've said it's fascist.
And you have said it's fascist, then why don't you adopt the stance to eliminate it? This is a moral problem, and your response has been to apply more paperwork to this situation, to have ICE collect more information on immigrants, and that puts our communities in danger, and it also conveys a profound misunderstanding of how we should be approaching this problem.
So Friday nights, and I love this was in The Intercept, and I think this really sums up as well this election. Friday night's primary debate between 31-year-old official Rep. Joseph Crowley and 28-year-old progressive Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was a contest between establishment and outsider, old guard and upstart, experience and progress, status quo and change. Ocasio-Cortez's stridency and urgent framing highlighted the difference between lip service and substantive change, between a movement powered by small donors and a politician funded by Wall Street and luxury real estate developers. Boom, boom. So here are the basic main differences between Crowley and Ocasio-Cortez, sorry. Ocasio-Cortez said she has rejected all corporate money, while Crowley has always raked in Wall Street cash, and generally his policies are corporate friendly, opposed to as opposite of Ocasio-Cortez, who all her policies are constituent friendly, citizen friendly, people friendly. Ocasio-Cortez is the only candidate in the race who supports improved and expanded Medicare for all. So while Crowley talks the talk about how much he cares about the people, he does not support Medicare for all. Ocasio-Cortez supports a federal job guarantee, tuition-free public college, and the abolition of ICE. So Crowley, none of that, although he claims to be a progressive for the people. Yet he's been in office 14 years and has not done any of that. So with 14 years worth of time, you'd think that he might have made some changes that benefit the people. Any of those changes that Ocasio-Cortez says that she will make, but he hasn't. So that's the funny thing now. Crowley is banking on the time that he's spent in government to push people to vote for him. And he points out all the time that Ocasio-Cortez lacks experience. Yet he's been in office for 14 years. And I think that works against him because he has not done any of these things: Medicare for all, federal job guarantee, tuition-free public college, abolition of ICE. So he says these things, he's against ICE, but he's done nothing about it. Whereas Ocasio-Cortez has a lot of personal experience in her community. She has been active in community services for a very, very long time where she lives. She has held working class jobs where his father, he was raised very wealthy. This is actually perceived to be equal, if not better, than the experience that Crowley has accumulated over his he's been in office 3 decades total. So Ocasio-Cortez wasn't even expected to make it onto the ballot, but a surge of national attention has pumped nearly $400,000 in small donations from people into her campaign, and that was enough that she was able to begin airing TV ads this final week. So now Crowley is, he's forced to just try to, what is that called? Anyways, he's been forced to spend a lot of money to fend off the sudden viable challenge that he was not expecting from Ocasio-Cortez. So he's just spending tons of money on advertisements all of a sudden in this last week because he didn't think he had a contender, but now he knows he does. And especially after that last debate, like, he looked like an ass, and he knows it. So it is often asked, why does Crowley not live in New York? He lives in Washington. He and his family live in Washington, and he finally answered that, which normally he avoids that question, but he couldn't avoid it during this debate. So lovely, he was put on the spot. He said, "I am a lifelong New York City resident. My dad was a police officer, and my mom was an immigrant." So I looked into it. He failed to mention that his father also went to law school and became a partner in a firm. So nice. I'm a blue-collar working class guy from a working class family. Yeah, his father was a police officer at one point, but eventually spent the majority of his career in a law firm as a partner. So yeah, but he didn't mention that. So I was pretty upset this week because Crowley did receive an endorsement from someone who I thought was a very progressive man, and it was Representative Ro Khanna endorsed Crowley earlier this week, and I actually have interviewed Ro Khanna in the past, and I had asked him, where do you see hope in the future for the country? And he said that it was in the neighborhood where he lives that younger people of color were stepping into the political role and had the ambition to be running for positions in the government, and kept saying that they were progressive. And then he went and he endorsed Crowley. So I was shocked. So what happened was, I wasn't the only one who was shocked. There was a massive backlash as Ro Khanna then backtracked, and he announced a dual endorsement for both Crowley and Ocasio-Cortez, effectively nullifying his initial nod. But I still don't understand why he endorsed Crowley over Ocasio-Cortez. I don't know. I really had faith in Ro Khanna, and he spoke all the time about getting money out of politics. I don't understand why he would endorse a huge corporate Democrat. I'm not sure. So what are some other things about Ocasio-Cortez? She has very confidently and without hesitation denounced Israeli violence against unarmed Gazans last month, and I think that's incredible. A lot of politicians won't go there. I don't know. They just feel like maybe it's a subject that can lose them votes, but she did not hesitate. She calls for the Democratic Party reform. She calls for criminal justice reform. So election night is June 26th. So yeah, share this video. We'll cut this up into 2 smaller videos where we can highlight her, share that. Go to her website, share her the video that originally went viral. Take a look at it. It's amazing. She is a truly progressive woman candidate who cares about the people. And, you know, we need to get Crowley out of there because, as I said, we have to get corporate politicians be them, whether they are Democrats or Republican. That is the only way that we're going to stop the atrocities that are happening in this country. And that just runs the gamut from, you know, pushing fossil fuels that will eventually cause so much extreme climate change that we're going to have wars over land and water. These aren't small issues, but they all start with policies and politicians. And if those politicians are puppets of the fossil fuel industry, I'm not being extreme here, we are looking at the destruction of man friggin' kind. And unfortunately, all the beautiful little innocent brothers and sisters who live on the planet with us, whether they be four-legged or have wings, they're all paying the price too. And these politicians don't give two shits. You know, Trump says all the time that global warming and climate change are not real, yet why did he put up those huge walls around his golf course in Ireland that is literally sliding into the water right now? He knows exactly what's happening. I don't really know why they're not concerned for the future of their own children, but I guess it just boils down to the fact that they are so blinded by power and money, like King Midas, right? He turned his own daughter gold. Don't give a shit. So we need to stop these corporate politicians left and right. Get rid of them.